There we are. Sorry for the technical difficulties, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Unapologetic Entrepreneur, man. We had a few little technical difficulties. Hopefully, you don't mind. You're here with me today. I want to thank you. Today's topic is going to be one that's very near and dear to my heart. I have a question for you. What if the reason your business hasn't grown isn't because of the opportunity? What if it's because you personally haven't grown? This is one of those things that I've been really going through in my mind. See, the version of you that started the journey, the emotional version, the distracted version, the version addicted to comfort, the excuses, the validation, and the inconsistency, that version of you may have been enough for you to start, but it's definitely not enough for you to scale. And some of you are asking God for a bigger opportunity, yet you're having small habits. See, you want millionaire results with a minimum wage discipline. And tonight, we're going to have a real conversation because growth will demand a funeral. Some habits, some people, some mindsets, and some versions of you must die. What we're going to be talking today about is real simple. Everyone goes through it. The version of you that started this business can't take you to the next level. If you don't evolve, your dreams become too heavy for that person to that person that you currently are. Man, is going to be a good one. Don't forget that you can intervene on the conversation anytime. Let's get started. All right. So let's get started. See, lately, I've been thinking about this a lot. I felt for a reason. I'm going to be giving you a lot of myself today, my thoughts, my visions, and also things that I've gone through throughout my journey of an entrepreneur. See, I realized that every new level in business demands a new identity. Just when you think you're done and you've grown and people are showing you that you have grown and you've seen it in the reflections of those that are around you, closest to you, telling you, oh my God, your growth, you realize you have to keep growing. Otherwise, your business will stop growing. You are the lid for your business. It requires and it needs a new you. Every level in business demands a new identity. It doesn't need more motivation. It doesn't even need any more hype. You don't need to scroll through Facebook to catch another podcast clip. What you need is a new version of you. So today, I'm going to talk about 5 points that I came across through my journey before this episode that I'm not only talking to you guys, but I'm also talking to myself. If you like the information that you're receiving today, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, chime in. Before I begin, let me see who's on here with me. Let's see what's on here. What's going on, Coach Mark? Hey, how you doing, Cherry? Don't forget, if you guys don't respond on Facebook, I don't see you. I see there's people there, but you got to put a comment in so I can put it up there. and also have this conversation with you guys. You guys are welcome to join in on this conversation. Feel free to ask some questions. I feel like being in a hot seat. It's okay. I think I can take it, right? So let me start with the first point that I came across through my journey. Mind you, this week has been a week of reflection. See, in order for your business to grow, you need to be ready to reflect on your business. More importantly, on who you are, because you are the person in the steering wheel. You're driving your car. So you set the mode of everything you see. So, my first point, your old habits are fighting your future. The things that you thought you were, that you just made these changes, they're supposed to be helping you. Well, guess what? You need new habits, you need higher standards, you need to become more strict, more disciplined in order to be able to scale your business, to become a to create more income, to become a better person. That old version of you is not going to work. The future version of you is being suffocated by the current version of you. See, many entrepreneurs, believe it or not, they still procrastinate. They still move emotionally. Now, that is one that I've been working on for, I would say, at least the last 2 years. If you guys would have met me 2 years ago, everything went straight to the heart. I had no shell. You would say anything, negativity penetrated me like nobody's business. I didn't have the right people around me. Everything they said, even though it was a reflection of them, I took it to heart. Emotions drove my business. So I know other entrepreneurs go through this. You can't move emotionally, you will get stuck. See, a lot of entrepreneurs still avoid having hard conversations. This is one that I am very thankful for, having a great mentor, because he started small with me by having me have tough conversations with people in my business, where I would ask him to do it. And he was like, no, you got to have the hard conversation. And I've progressed to the point where now the hard conversation is something I got to have because I know is for the better of my business. So I'm telling you that I know other entrepreneurs are still avoiding to have these hard conversations. They still lack discipline. Now, discipline is not something that I would say I had a lot of trouble with. Once I set my mind to something, I usually move forward. And if I need a little push, I know where to get it. But entrepreneurs still lack that discipline and they still chase comfort. See, in our business, we're not allowed to be comfortable. Comfort kills. And that's what you need to do today. You need to have that funeral and kill comfort, because nothing good grows in comfort. And here's the big one. Out of everything, entrepreneurs still blame their circumstances. And then they wonder, why isn't their life changing? They're still so used to pointing their finger. Today, I'm going to give you a lesson. All of you that like to blame others or blame things, ready? I want you to take your finger and point at the screen. And I want you to realize that every time you're pointing at someone, saying it's their fault, there's three fingers pointing back at you. Your business, the way it grows, the way it scales, is no one's fault but your own. That's why I said it. Some of you are going to be mad at me for saying it. You have to take control. As I said in the beginning, you are the one in the driver's seat. This is why you're not scaling. It's because of you, and you got to be able to understand that. See, that is a major thing. You have to really face responsibility. See, when I got into this industry, I was always saying it was my mentor, my upline, the person I was with, the system. I always had something to blame. What I realize is that if you don't like it, then you have to be the change that you want to see. We get stuck on bubblegum when we stay there. And that's not a good place to be. Oh, I have a question that popped in. How can someone reflect if they are afraid to look into the mirror? Boy, okay, I guess we're starting on 10. All right. So see, at first it is hard to look in the mirror because you're afraid of what you're going to see, especially if you start to look in the mirror to look inward. See, in business, I feel that you have to surround yourself around people that you want to be more like, people you admire the way they do business. You have to get close to them and let them be your mirror. If you pick the right mentor and you pick the right people around you, here's what's going to happen. They're going to make sure they tell you what they feel at the moment after getting to know you, what you can handle. And then they will increase that. Sometimes you need other people to be the mirror. You're not ready to look in the mirror, you ask someone. I mean, you're not in business, in no business that you encounter are you doing this by yourself. You did some type of research. You're following somebody's material. The best thing I could tell everybody is to get a mentor first. Build your foundation of the people that you're going to have around you, because those are the people that are going to look at your blind spots. I hope that answer your question. If I can't be my own mirror, I know I got people I can go to that I can simply say, what am I doing wrong? Sometimes they might say, nothing, you're in your own head. And other times they have a checklist and they've just been waiting for you to ask. They've been waiting for that moment. So I hope that answers your question, Mr. Mark Tarolia. Questions are coming in. Oh, this is only point one. Let's go. What is harder, changing your habits or staying stuck? Oh, man. For me, I could talk from a personal perspective. Staying stuck. Um, I feel that if you change your habits, you won't be stuck. That will create momentum, pushing you past that feeling of being stuck on bubblegum. So when you feel that something's off, it's because you either it's time to grow and lift the standard, or you need to create a new habit or get rid of a habit. That's the harder one. Getting rid of your habits, because sometimes you don't even recognize what is a bad habit. You don't even recognize what's holding you down. And sometimes you got to tap into the strong parts of the older you. That's like I said at the very beginning, parts of you must die because there's a lot of good that got you started. And sometimes you got to tap into that. For example, I got rid for a little while, I stopped my routine in the morning and I started realizing that my faith started to dwindle just a tad bit. But that tad bit, every piece that it started just created a boulder. So I had to go back to my roots. I had to go back to my routine, what I call putting on my armor before facing the world, because that's what got my day started right. So you have to make sure that you are able to change, adjust, or get rid of habits. I think it all relates to habit. If you don't change the habit, you're going to remain stuck. I hope that answered your question. Oh, God, yes. Thank you, sir. Means a lot. So, one of the things that I will tell you to go back to my first point, uh, you really, really have to. Here you go. Your old habits are fighting your future. So get rid and do an inventory on your habits. It's very important to do that and keep the questions coming, man. The conversation doesn't start until you guys ask the questions. I'm telling you, this is I already know it's gonna be a hot one because you started early. Let me tell you, those habits that you change will lead you to being a better version of yourself. I like to tell people that I'm Mr. Stay Ready so I don't have to get ready because I try to anticipate what's next. I treat everything as an audition. And having my mindset like that created one of the proudest moments I had, which was to represent my organization on a big stage. That I didn't even know I wanted to do that. The future version of me wanted to do that. You would have asked old me to do that. For those of you that don't know me, you might not understand, but I used to act in the world of being an introvert. Yeah, I know. Picture that, right? I'm here doing a podcast and I'm an introvert. Yeah, I'm spilling my guts about my business and fulfilling and talking to others about their business on live Facebook, which never goes away. But yeah, I shied away from it for a long time. I didn't even know that I wanted to do something like this, and I found myself preparing without knowing, being guided by the right mentorship to be able to do this, saying that I have a gift that I didn't even know was present. So it's very important to have those, that person that can see your blind spots, have that mentor, and also know your habits. I'm telling you, back to that first question, that mirror does wonders. I've had to look in the mirror for the last 2 months and really analyze. I feel I'm great. I'm doing great. I have all the credentials, but there's something missing. Why isn't it? Why isn't the momentum going? And finally it hit. And that's what made me lead to doing this call. See, if you prepare and you really change those habits, you'll be ready and put in leadership positions. You'll have people that are looking up to you, that you are helping you set your purpose. See, you can't pray for growth while protecting the habits that keep you small. Let that hit a little while. You cannot pray, and I'm a man of prayer. You cannot pray for growth if you're protecting the habits that keep you small. That leads me to my second point. Some people only support the old version of you. Let that sink in for a minute. Some people only support the old version of you. See, people don't like change. So, in people not liking change, guess what they're not going to like? They're not going to like if you change. The problem is that a lot of us out there trying to please everyone. We're really trying to make people like us. As long as you're a good person, does it really matter? People don't pay your bills. You got to be careful who you're letting feed your mind and also who is trying to feed your ego. We all have ego. But if you let the wrong people feed your ego will take over your income. So you can't have both. That's right. If you're writing things down and you're an entrepreneur, I said it. I said what I meant and I meant what I said. You can't have ego and have money. Pick one. Pick one. So you got to be careful. Who are you letting feed your ego, and who are you letting, and who is supporting what version of you? See, I've learned recently, even more so than before, that I got to be careful who I let support Leo, because the kind of support Leo needs is might be different than the kind of support you need. We had such an interesting call talking about Smoky House. Oh, I'm gonna have to bring that person on the podcast so we can talk about Smoky House, because I'm not gonna let that out. I can't be as eccentric as this person was, but I am telling you that some of us are living in a smoky house. We don't even know that the house is on fire. Those people support the old version of you. They like you just the way you are, and sometimes that's not gonna help for growth. So find the people that support the future you. Let them ignite you. See, growth changes relationships. And if you haven't noticed in the last episode where me and Mr. Ezra were talking, that's one of the things we talked about. Okay. Loved ones, the relationships you have with some people, they love the broke version of you because they feel superior. They love the distracted version of you. They felt better than you. I don't know. You did something for their ego. They loved the less disciplined you. Hey, let's go hang out. Let's go do this. You don't hang out anymore. Watch the last episode. He spoke about that. They love the version of you that they could control. Ooh, did I hit some nerves? They love the version of you that they can control. But once you evolve, you become inconvenient. You're no longer important. So they don't support that version of you. That's too much freedom. Hmm. Not everybody claps when you level up. Some people secretly benefit from your insecurities, your lack of confidence, your lack of boundaries, and that is a problem. So here's a question for you out there before you guys ask me. I want you to evaluate and think for yourself. This is a mirror conversation right here. Ready? Who becomes uncomfortable when you become disciplined? Think about that. Who only supports you when you play small? See, some people miss the old version of you because the new version requires them to grow too. The new version of you requires them to grow, to be in your presence. And people don't like change. My mentor tells me, you want to make you want to make enemies? Try to change people. You'll make enemies real quick. And that's what the new version of you does. It challenges people to change, to be within your presence. And that's what gets them upset. And if you fall to that, your business won't scale because your lid is on. Oh, let's see what's going on in the comment section before I move on. Ooh, let's see. Let's see. All right. I think we answered this question. Yes, we did. Let's see. Thank you, sir. And let's see. The mirror reveals what excuses you try to hide. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It does. That mirror does. See, there's two things I realize that don't lie, and that's mirrors and numbers. They just don't lie. Oh, here we go. Powerful question alert. Who gets uncomfortable when you show discipline? Yeah, oh, yeah, that's the question I asked. Yes, who gets uncomfortable? I want all of you that are watching and all of you that are going to watch the shared video, I want you to think about that. Who gets uncomfortable when you get disciplined? Those are the people, those people are exposing themselves. They're letting you know that they are disposable. It's time for you to get rid of them. I said it. That's right. I said it. My mind is going. I hope somebody, hey, if your feelings are hurt, you really got to start looking in the mirror. I'm having to keep cutting people out of my life because if you're anything other than supportive, I got to go. You know, that's interesting you say that, Brandon. As you start to climb the ladder of success or you start to change into your future self, you will notice that you outgrow people just like you outgrow shoes. Some people are, see, I saw something that was very interesting. And I believe it was Tyler Perry. He was talking about a rocket. You can go back and see this. He's not paying me for this. But he talks about it on a podcast or some stage he was on. He said, if you look at a rocket, it uses all this force and it has two little rockets next to it. But as it gets higher into altitude, those two rockets fall off. And he said you should take that as a metaphor that not everyone is supposed to go with you on the climb to the top. That's why they say the top is very lonely. So you are going to shed some people off. And you got to be okay with that if you're looking to grow. If you're looking to grow, you just got to put yourself in a circle of people, such as you have, Brandon, of people that are never going to stop growing. Because those are going to be the people that are going to be there with you on that growth spurt that you're going through. Which leads me to my next point. Hopefully, I'm giving y'all something. Don't forget, you can get involved in the conversation. Ask some questions. Don't worry. My seat has air conditioning, so I'm ready to be put in the hot spot. Success exposes who you really are. Now, what do you mean by that? Well, you ever seen someone that has no money and then they have a lot of money and now they become what people call mean? They were always mean. They were just broke before. Money just exposed who they really are. That's all it did. They were always mean. They were always that at the core. So success will expose you as well. When you're given certain opportunities and they start to cash in, you'll see who people really are. See, that's what I admire with the people that I work with. I work very close with millionaires, and they treat everybody the same. It's so amazing. I never thought that, because millionaires got a bad rep out there, right? But money doesn't change people. That's what that phrase is saying right there. It exposes who they really are. And that's how you know if you've been following the right person all along. When they start to see success, when things start to work out in their favor, when the world starts to give them a few blessings, you start to see who they really are. And that tells you whether you should stay close or run away. Sometimes you got to be an observer. See, money doesn't build character, leadership doesn't build character. Success reveals character. Pressure exposes people. What do you mean by that? Well, pressure exposes someone's ego, it exposes their insecurity. You start to see their emotional weakness, their lack of structure, their lack of leadership. It all ties into entrepreneurship. That's what pressure does. So, again, I want you to keep your eye out there, because the new version of you deserves to come out. That's the only way you're going to scale. It doesn't matter if you just started the business, it doesn't matter if you've been in business for years. This is what's going to change and what's going to grow your business. That's what we mean by scale. See, a lot of people want the spotlight, they want the recognition, they want the influence, they even want the leadership. I want to be a leader. But here's what they don't want: they want all these good things, right? But they don't want to sacrifice. They don't want the A word. What are you talking about? Accountability. They don't want to deal with consistency. Consistency is boring. One of my business partners says, you got to do the mundane. And I love the way he says it. Shout out to Omar out there. That's right. The mundane, the consistency, the constant doing the same thing. They don't want that. They don't want the responsibility. You want all the glory, but you don't want none of the responsibility. Man, you see this every day in leadership. Let's see what's going on in the chat before I go on. Oh. Do you have a method or system to cut those crabs in a barrel mentally? So, personal development. Personal development. I live by a phrase that says, I OD on PD. I overdose on personal development. You got to personally develop, whether it's books, mentorship, which is huge. Man, mentorship is the capital. It should be the first letter on the alphabet, should be M for mentorship when it comes into business. But personal development is the way to cut those crabs out the barrel. Because see, as you grow, people will look for the exit. See, I don't cut people out of my life. I don't cut people out of my life. They give me the scissors. They're giving me the scissors. They're asking to leave. You don't need to cut them out. They're going to leave. People will leave because nobody wants to stick around somewhere they feel small. And if you're not smaller than they are, they're going to leave. So that's my system or method, coach. I just personally develop. I make me a bigger, better version of myself. Got some comments in here. All right. There's no method in my mind. I have a zero tolerance policy these days. I can't entertain entertainment. I have to be legacy minded. The older I get, the more I realize it. You know why that is? Because that little girl you have in your Facebook picture right there, you have a mirror right there that's always looking at you. So you're absolutely right. That zero tolerance, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep, my man. All right. Thank you guys for participating. Again, if you like what you're hearing, like, share, and subscribe. There's a QR code right there. Share this, man. Somebody needs to hear this. People need to know this exists out here. They need to know these points. They need to know about being exposed. Here's my point number 4. Your next level requires separation. Just like the 2 rockets I told you, they're going to have to separate in order for that rocket to continue to go and break the atmosphere. It's going to require you to separate from some things that you might hold near and dear to you. Oh man, I'm going to say it, and I don't believe I'm going to talk about this on live right now. Sometimes it's your significant other. Sometimes it's your adult children. Sometimes it's your parents. But your next level requires you to have less weight on your shoulders. I know. That just hit me too. You got to elevate. And sometimes elevation requires isolation. You got to be able to elevate to pull people up. And sometimes those anchors is exactly what's holding you down. You cannot stay around negativity. You can't entertain distraction anymore. Yeah, we're having a mirror talk right now. This is not Leo Garcia in front of you. This is your mirror talking. I'm letting you know you can't stay around negativity. You can't entertain distractions, and you can't protect toxic relationships. You cannot consume weak thinking. You are what you eat. Pick up the glasses for that one. Somebody got hit. I could feel it. I feel you guys staring at the screen. I'm afraid to look at what the comment section is saying right now. But the truth is, let me repeat that for you. Bring it back, come rewind. You can't stay around negativity. You can't entertain distractions. You can't protect toxic relationships. You cannot consume weak thinking and expect that you're going to get elite results. You can't expect elite results with those things. Everybody says they want growth until growth starts removing people. Ooh, this is a therapy session. Let's see what's going on over here. Okay. Question. How do you know when it's time to distance yourself from certain people? The minute they're wearing you down. If you feel that you got momentum, you're moving in the right direction, your blessings are coming, and suddenly you got negative Nancy in your ear, feeding you possibilities of failure, and then you start to see momentum starts to go down, it might be negative Nancy. You got to push away from negative Nancy. Got to go towards positive Pedro. You know, the minute they start really weighing you down, the vision is not shared by those people around you. See, if you're constantly sharing your vision around the people you love and the support is there, you know you got the right people. But the minute that starts to shift because you're getting the blessings, were they really there? You got to start having those self-analyzing questions. Maybe have a conversation, see where they're coming from. They will tell you that they're the reason. But back to what I said in the beginning, you got to be willing to have those tough conversations. See, when we have tough conversations with people within our business partners, take it as practice because you're going to have some real tough conversations with loved ones that are not in the business, that do affect your business. Everything we do is an audition. If you do that, Miss Cherry, you'll know when it's time to move away from certain people. Because you want to stay around the people that are going to support and push and propel your dreams. They want it for you. They want to push you up because they know that when you get up there, you're going to reach your hand down to pull them up. Those are the people you want around you. Hope that answered your question. I needed this. Phenomenal topic. You're speaking directly to some of us. Fantastic. To some of us, or am I talking directly to you? I guess we'll never know. Yeah, I'm talking to myself, Brandon. I'm talking to myself. But at the end of the day, this was a conversation that I had with myself and questions I had that I just felt like sharing. I felt like, I don't know, being naked on the screen, just letting you know what's my inner thoughts on scaling. I felt that I was stuck. I was I knew that I had to change some of my new habits and I had to bring back some of my old habits and I had to have a conversation with myself and I had to have a funeral. I had to kill certain parts of me. Why? Because I got comfortable. Yeah, I said it. I got comfortable and comfort kills. Oh, Brandon's just having a conversation with me. I should have had you up here. I needed this phenomenal topic. Okay, I got it. All right, all right. So let's go to the next point as I reel you guys in. As I reel you guys in. Here's point number 5. Reinvention is the price of greatness. Okay, this is a good one. You got to constantly reinvent yourself. We have an experience where there's things you could do to reinvent yourself. It starts with the outer shell. Maybe shave, change your appearance, start dressing different. See, we've been talking about this a lot. See, how you dress is how you will be addressed. People don't get that. If you dress like a bum, people are going to talk to you like a bum. If you dress like money, people are going to talk to you like you have money. How you dress, you will be addressed. That starts with reinvention. Start walking with your head up. Read more books to be positive. Have affirmations around you so when negativity hits, you got a shield. Make sure to make it your effort. If some of you are working remote, doesn't mean that you're just because you're home, you got to dress in PJs, have a bonnet. Take the time, do your hair, comb your hair, put on a jacket, sit down. A jacket does wonders for people. This right here makes me feel like I'm Superman. Put on a jacket because now you're projecting what you want to be addressed as a professional, someone that's you want to seem so you can feel success. You got to reinvent yourself constantly. Go to the gym, get healthier, eat better. You have to reinvent yourself in order to scale. I'm telling you, the older version of you is not ready. It is not ready to blossom until you already got to walk in those shoes. Take the time to reinvent yourself. You'll be surprised what that will do for your business, for your image, for your emotions, for who you are gonna be. Let's not use the word try to be. Okay? You need an upgrade. You have to give yourself permission to evolve. See, the entrepreneur who wins studies, adapts, reinvents, upgrades their standards, upgrades their mindset, upgrades their execution. That all ties into leadership. The reason some people stay stuck for years is because they keep trying to win with outdated versions of themselves. Hmm. Think about that. The reason that people stay stuck is because they keep doing the same old thing. They have to reinvent everything they do. I challenge you to think about take a pencil or pen, put on paper, and write what habits do you feel must die today? What standards must rise today? What version of you needs to disappear? I challenge you to write that down because if it's written, then you could do something about it. There's power that comes in writing. Let's see. I think I got something in the chat. I just got a notification. Mm, everyone experiences this at some point when they are seeking or starting to see success. This is great. I'm glad I'm able to serve you today, sir. This was near and dear to me. So, like I said, share this with someone and understand that the first thing you need to do is write things down. And I'm challenging you to do that today. Play this back. Ask yourself those simple questions I asked so you can simply write them down and start elevating who you are. Start changing those things today. Let's see if there's any questions in the chat. Let's look at the chat. Let me see right here. Nothing yet. So I'm going to be leading you guys towards my close. I want you guys to really get something out of this today. I was hoping, I'm going to tell you what my hope is for today. My hope wasn't to really inspire anybody. What I want to do is I want to confront. I want you guys to really have that confrontational moment with yourself, because somewhere along your journey, many entrepreneurs just stop evolving. They keep repeating the same habits, have the same excuses, and keep having the same emotional cycles. Yet, expecting a different life. Isn't that close to insanity? They get insane. They keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Huh. And that's very dangerous. See, success can only start happening around you while you internally stay the same. It can't, it just doesn't happen. See, it starts happening when you start changing. You can make more money and still be broke. You can build a team and still lead emotionally. You can get recognition and still lack discipline. But eventually, your old identity becomes too small for your new opportunities. So, tonight, this episode is not about business. This episode was meant to plant the seed of transformation in you. Because there comes a moment in every entrepreneur's life where you must make a decision. You must get mad. We will keep protecting the person. Will you keep protecting the person you used to be? Or will you become the person that requires you to change? I'll tell you this right now. Your next level is not waiting on luck. Your next level is waiting on you to elevate. It's waiting on you to change. It's waiting on you to follow those 5 points I laid out today. You know what I've learned? I've learned that growth is painful, but regret is heavier. Growth hurts, but regret hurts so much more. See, growth is that the pain that growth provides is temporary. That regret can last forever. And one day, all of us will sit alone and just sit there with our choices. The chances we took, the excuses we made, the standards we tolerated, the person we decided to become. One day you're going to have to sit alone with those thoughts. So, my question to you is, when will your future self finally arrive? Will you recognize who you're who you're gonna be? Will you be able to see him? See, when I look at this picture that I have, I wasn't ready for that. That was me on the left. I never knew that I would look like that person on the right. Personal development helped me get there. I look at that picture and I can't even remember what my thoughts were. I just know that I needed change and that it started with me believing in myself. So I'm asking you, are you ready for transformation? Are you ready to grow? Are you ready to elevate? Growth is going to happen. But what direction are you going to grow in? To me, it's simple. To grow means to give up on old habits, to reinvent your mindset, to really own your responsibility, and to walk like your future self now. Really that simple. So I tell you guys today, take it from me. There's a lot of lessons, but you have to grow. You just have to grow because your future is watching your decision today. And every disciplined action, every sacrifice, every uncomfortable moment is either building the next version of you or simply delaying it. So, in my closing thought, I tell you this: evolve even when it's lonely, even when people misunderstand you, even when growth feels uncomfortable, because greatness isn't accidental. And remember this: the strongest transformation is not when income changes, it's when your identity does. I want to thank you guys because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you guys are here with me today. And I hope I was able to enlighten and shine a light on you guys as I was able to shine a light in myself. From the last episode, I was told not to dim my light. So I chose to just give you a little what I was going through today in entrepreneurship, hoping that would help you walk in your future self. With that being said, it's been an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege. I'll see you on the next one. We have an exciting one for you next week. Bring your questions. I'm bringing a millionaire on the platform. It's time for you guys to ask questions. I want to thank you for coming out. God bless you guys.